Hello everyone and welcome back to the World Championship Series Season 1. We've already had so many games take place and we've had 3 groups wrap up and we've had 3 first place finishers in 4GG, Snoot and Hydra. This match in Group D will determine the 4th player to join those players. Our first player is the only Danish representative. He's the best non-Korean Terran player and he's looking to join the other local players that are already in the round of 8 in Snoot and Tielo. It is Bunny! The French fans love you, Bunny. Now, Bunny will be going up against the only North American representative. He is from Canada and has already practiced in many team houses in North America and Europe. Please give a warm welcome to Kane. Now, before I hand this off to the commentators, I hear that Kane has something special to say to you guys in the audience.
Ce soir, je vais manger du lapin.
All right, guys, shake hands. Let's head over to the experts.
And tonight, will Bunny dine in hell? We'll find out. This is going to be an interesting series between these 2 players. The only North American in the season still remaining up against Bunny. One of the most, the highest performing non-Korean around there with Snoot. This is a tough match for these 2, for sure. You've pointed out Kane being a favorite to advance from this group, maybe in even first place.
Did I say that?
One of you did. Okay, it was you.
It's Nate. It's Nate. He's the Kane fan right here.
I'm a Kane fanboy.
Okay, it was you. Sorry.
Damn straight, man. Kane is my boy. You know, I gotta rep the other North American here. Otherwise, I feel like I'm running out to be the last representative.
Let's talk about Kane. Why? Why is he meant to go out in first place in your eyes in this group?
I mean, I don't think he's statistically favored at all. He's just the guy that I'm cheering for, and that's, you know, Kane's a hardworking guy. I will say the vacation doesn't improve his odds terribly much right before he came here, but he used a lot of dedicated, very committed styles in order to take out Polt in the qualifier to get here. Those games were a while ago, but as unconfident as Kane may have seemed yesterday, he's a bit of a cheeky guy himself, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has a trick or 2 up his sleeve.
Well, so far, Rotterdam, he's 100% win rate. He hasn't lost a game in WCS yet in series.
No, he's been looking really good in the round of 32, and of course, yes, he has been on that holiday just before this event, so that doesn't really help. I didn't think he was going to win the group. I just didn't think that he was a favorite to go out. I thought he would go, he has a very good chance and most likely to advance in 2nd place in this group. Like, I don't think Kane is an underdog against any of the 2 Protosses he could have potentially faced. Well, that would be Haas if he loses the next series, but of course, he's going to give it all he has against Bonnie, but I do think he's an underdog going into this one.
What is it about Kane that makes him stand out as a player and as an individual outside of StarCraft 2?
I mean, he's a very lively character in our scene. I mean, that's for sure. He's always part of talk shows. He's always part of a funny video here and there. Of course, many have seen his commercial about slippers and stuff. Like, I think that's very cool. He's very outspoken, but above all, he's been that guy that has been really good for a long time, and he's just way overdue for a good run. Like, we've been saying this, like, probably since the start of 2014. Is like, Kane is way better than the results he's posting, and it's about time that he's going to show that. And so far in this season, he's doing that.
All right, Fenner, any thoughts on Kane as a Zerg player yourself?
Kane is a very defensive player. We're going to see a lot of 2-base styles coming out from him, which might be a bit too defensive against a player like Bunny, because Bunny is the kind of guy who likes to go for standard play. He likes to go up to 3 bases. And, you know, if Kane's going for 2 bases, he's going to be looking to do economic damage early on. But Kane does like to go for the late game as well, so we'll see. Both of these players are going to be looking to play into the later game. I think Bunny's strong there. We'll see if Kane can do some damage from 2 bases.
And here is Bunny, definitely a player looking to contend for a position at the global finals at the end of the year. Whether he'll get there or not, that really depends on tournaments like we're seeing here. Is he a contender in your eyes, guys, to get there? He likes to think he is. He said in his intro video yesterday that WCS is the most important part of his life right now.
In my opinion, he is. He's definitely one of the two foreigners that I looked at in the start of the season where I would say, if it's not Hydra or Polt or 4GG, then I would say it's Bunny or Snoot. Like, he's the top 5 going into this season. And so far, he's living up to that hype as well. He had a couple of really good games at Gfinity. It wasn't enough to really make a memorable run out of it. But his games against Hydra were extremely entertaining to watch. And, you know, if you can play that well against someone like Hydra, you should be able to do very good against Kane over here.
Map picks here, Nathanius. Vaani Research Station, Catalina, and Deadwing is the 3 maps.
I mean, we've got 2 maps that I guess the Zerg player is going to be comfortable on, those being Vaani Research Station and Deadwing. I can see why Kane would pick that first. Catalina, though, looks like Kane would rather play on the Inferno pools. We've kind of seen the mix-up, and you know, I can't really blame him. Just the other 2 maps that he could have been stuck on would have been probably worse.
All right, Nathanius, again, back to you. What is it about Bunny that makes him... What is it about his Terran versus Zerg? You're a Terran player yourself. Does he do anything different than the regular Terran players? Anything that stand out?
Bunny doesn't do anything outside the meta. You know, we're not going to see him pull something crazy out like a Haas would. Maybe he might do something that's a bit stale. In a game like Deadwing, we could see a tank drop, which has kind of fallen off. But he's the kind of guy that likes to just set up, play a lot of power plays. He makes a couple of tweaks to his builds. You might see him open 2 Reaper, get his Hellions out, then go for a late 3rd one. And he really likes to keep the pressure on with the Hellion Banshee at the start of his games.
All right, well, thank you very much, guys. We're going to head over to the commentary team for this match. The winner moves through to top 8, and will play in Sunday for a chance at the trophy and at everything they can grab. The money, the points. Let's find out who's going to win, who's going down to the lower bracket.
All right, Team Liquid is 2 out of 3 so far in the round of 8. Will Bunny make it 3 out of 4? That would be quite a feat here for Team Liquid, but Kane is looking to stop him. That being said, though, Bunnies versus Zerg, as of late, has looked pretty darn good. In Fragbite Masters alone, he was able to take out people like Soulkey, for Christ's sake.
Big tournaments wouldn't be big tournaments without Team Liquid team kills.
That's
deep
true.
in those tournaments, KLRs. And on paper, for sure, I would agree with you. Bunny, he's going to be the favorite here. Kane said himself, what did he say? He said something like, I'm kind of hoping to lose, or something.
Did
yesterday.
he say that?
Yeah, he said something like that, like something, you know, that basically didn't make him sound very confident.
Right.
He did sound a lot more confident today when he spoke French. He said, tonight I'm going to eat some rabbits. So...
All right, then.
Bringing on the French trash talk, the best kind of trash talk.
Well, the French seem to like to get out there. But now we're going to be getting into game number 1 in the second to last series of the day here for day number 2. It's been a long one so far. This is our 11th series of the day. And Bunny or Kane will be advancing on to the round of 8 after this first series.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure is that Bunny is not going to go down easily. Kane needs to bring out his absolute A game here against arguably one of the best non-Koreans in the world.
Yeah, it's... I mean, Bunny is a guy who's been rising for quite some time, and, you know, he got his biggest title and achievement when he won Gfinity, in my opinion, beating quite a few Koreans, beating Hyun in the grand finals. That was very, very impressive. Already back then, you know, his TvZ was just ridiculous. You know, beating Hyun is really, really insane. He even beat Saxui just right before that in Challenger. And it was like at a time where Saxui had just come to Europe, was completely on fire. And I remember actually when Saxui got, matched with Bunny, everybody was basically saying, well, sorry, Bunny, but you're not going to make Premier this year, or this time.
Yeah.
And he proved them wrong. Okay,
Yes,
guys,
he did. All right, well, let's get into it. Game number 1 now in this best of 3. Vaani Research Station will be our map as we have spawning down to the south. It's our blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Bunny. And up to the north, it's our red Zerg, having looked quite impressive here so far in WCS Season 1. Representing My Insanity, it is Kane.
Bunny, to me, has always been impressive versus Zerg for the longest time. You know, I remember this one home story cup, he played Violet on Belcher Vestige. That's how long ago it was, Skylars.
Right.
And he took the expansion towards, you know, the fourth base of Violet, pushed with a lot of Bio and Widow Mines. And back then, you know, Violet, he was one of the guys that, you know, was looked at as one of the top contenders to do well in the tournament. And Bunny already back then beat him. Ever since, he's been playing better and better. He plays a lot of ladder. He's always improving. He's on the same team with Snoot, one of the very best foreigners. He's been impressive me a lot. Every time I see him play, he seems to be playing better. And now up against the Kane, who said so himself, this is going to be a tough match. I feel like if Bunny, he just does... basically, I was going to say the bare minimum, but maybe that's too little. if he does what he needs to be doing, expands, takes, plays solid, doesn't get surprised by anything too funky, I do think he's going to be fine. He's going to take Kane some basically insane games where he plays out of his mind to beat somebody like Bunny, in my opinion, here in this series.
Yeah, Bunny is certainly going into this the favorite. Kane's done well so far here in WCS, but this is his biggest challenge throughout the round of 32 and round of 16, as he's going to be facing off against Reapers to start things. As Nathanius well pointed out on the desk, he does very little astray of the current meta, but he does it with precision, with accuracy, and with a lot of solidity behind it.
Yeah, the 2 Reaper here on this map is going to be his choice. Kane impressed me a lot, to be honest, yesterday up against Haz. But I feel like, it was TvZ, and he's probably a lot more comfortable in that matchup. So here going up against a Bunny, who's opening 2 Reaper, he already has the links in position up the ramp, as well as 1 Queen is getting another one. And by the look of things, he's going to delay his gases quite a bit here for now. So this should be, quite possibly a 4 Queen style.
Yep, we could even have that 3rd Reaper coming along pretty soon. The factory has been started behind this, so we'll have the opportunity. But he's going to decide to obviously go for the reactor from here on out. Doesn't quite line up with what he did during all of this. So 2 Reapers can still be annoying. Eventually they will couple up with the Hellions to just push on forwards. But it can be difficult on a map like this to actually get into the base with those Hellions and Reapers at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think Kane will be looking for that.
GG.
Yeah, exactly. I think Kane will be looking after it, though.
Yeah, the 4 Queens, the 3rd and 4th Queen now on the way. He's going to take the gases on the natural. It's going to make it harder for Bunny to see exactly when that's going down, even though, he can kind of be guessing when it is going to be. Expect stopwatch here to start momentarily. And the 3rd CC, being already on the way here.
Ooh. Good save there on that drone, making sure that that's not going to die off. Almost lost a Reaper to that, did Bunny, but managed to get out there. And that's all that matters, because it will heal up to full soon.
He's not going for a stopwatch here yet, Bunny. Getting 2 Hellions and getting 1 more Reaper.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of
unusual.
cool. Yeah, this is something that I wasn't expecting, because the triple command center opening is fine, it's economical and strong and powerful, but the extra Reaper gives the same power as the original aggressive push of the 3 Reaper with Hellions, but just with the extra one a little bit delayed. And Kane's going to see that, and he will know that he's going to be hit by it despite seeing the 3rd command center as well.
Is all these guys to start steam early then, since he's getting a take lap? I guess so. I was thinking for a second he might go for something like, double eBay now, but no. Bunny wants to go for more production facility before, so he's going to add on some barracks.
This shows that, a player like Bunny really does value the tanking potential of those Reapers at the front to then just dart back and heal up. This is a very potent little force that if a creep tumor does go astray, it will pick it up. If the Reaper's now going to walk on forwards, tank these Queens. He may end up getting one. One of the Reapers actually fell. Good transfuse there by Kane. And a second Reaper falls, so very good defense by Kane.
By the way, that overload in Bunny's base, absolutely royal, man. Saw everything. Kane knows exactly all that's happening. He knows that there's no stopwatch, that there's no eBay yet. He might even be able to see these 2.
Kane is going to be scouted here by Bunny, jumping in with that Reaper. Saw the timing on the layer and may have picked up all of the gas geysers as well.
Where did he send 2 drones? Maybe that's why.
Well.
He sent 2 drones to the 3rd base, Kane, here. One of those died and the other one made an extractor. So I guess maybe anticipated that he would lose one and that the other would be the chosen one.
Eager to get that down against some Hellions still outlying and around there.
Spire should go down momentarily here, and Baiting Nest at about the same time.
Buddy should be able to read into that. I think he had the full information on what was going on in base. And he is just darting around with the Hellions, trying to look for some creep denial, but Kane will quite easily and happily go for that counter-attack with quite a few lings. And there's not that many units to deny, but there's a full wall off, so it will be difficult.
Trying for a little bit of a life run by here. Ooh. I had a feeling Bunny might lower this depot here to transfer SCVs already, but did not.
Oh, 2 Marines get picked off there at the other side of the wall, being trapped outside and not allowed in. If you lower those supply depots to get those Marines back in, then yeah, it's going to suck. But actually, he's lost quite a few units here in comparison to only the 4 Lings, but now a few more Lings will die thanks to the Hellions.
Oh, actually, there is more coming in. He could get some kills. Oh, that one Hellion is going to fall here.
He's going to head on down towards that base. He knows that. He's going to move back, just pick up the supply at the command center. Unfortunately, one SCV will die for these troubles, but at the same time, Stim's now finished, so he can easily push this away.
Yeah, he was trying to force a lift, in which case this could not have landed because the creep is being dropped. So Kane is going to start a bunch of mutas here. He already has the Baneling Nest available were he to get it attacked. Could morph a lot of those. He's going to start centrifugal hooks as well. We should be seeing Evos come down, and here they go.
Just want to keep up with the macro here. We're seeing a Bunny, that double engineering bay that I'm pretty sure he called the tail end of with the Overlord. And he knows it's going to be going on anyway, is something that he has to rival. You do not want to get that Terran get up and upgrades, making sure that he will be able to put on pressure if he wants to.
The upgrades are much faster for Bunny. It's almost as if he's going to finish 1-1 when Kane starts. And Bunny, he's already getting the armor. He's going to be able to start 2-2 as soon as 1-1 finishes if he wants to.
Yeah, there's just nothing started. It's the thing is that the weapons upgrades have been prioritized on Mutalisk more so than anything. So if they're able to find medevacs and shut those down, then the Mutalisks will have a brilliant time. But at the same time, this is getting a little bit out of hand on the ground.
Yeah.
There we go. Starts that +1 weapons.
Yeah. Kane right now, he's starting to work on a 4th base. He's going to start the harassment with Mutas, much like Firekick was doing earlier up against Bolt. You know, you want to harass with those Mutas, maybe make the Terran attack into you on creep, in which case you have enough Zergling and Banelings to crush him. And that's pretty much what he's waiting for, the attack to happen. That's why I saw he's flying back. He's going to try to pick off those medivacs as Bunny pulls back, but Bunny may be able to get a cancel on the hatch. Yes, he will.
Just a few Hellbats laying in wait.
Split.
And yeah, it's a good split. Not only that, but some of the Hellbats at the front did soak up some of those Banelings, which makes it harder here for Kane to really deal with. But he will clean up the rest of it. The Mutalisks were in number, with just a few sprinkling there of Zerglings to push those Marines back.
Was that a good trade for Kane? I think so. He killed a lot. Ooh. Got a cancel on that base, but he did kill a lot.
Getting medevacs on the retreat out as well, and that is nice for a Zerg. Definitely is, but still 1-1 halfway complete compared to 2-2, which is also halfway complete. So Bunny will always be ahead in those upgrades for quite a while in this game.
Kailaris, Bunny is on the same worker counts as Kane with triple orbitals. His production is ridiculous. He's already on 3 factories, which is an insane number. He's going to be able to go for a lot of Thors to tank for his bio. He's adding 3 more barracks on his 3rd base. I've seen Bunny before, you know, play very aggressive against Zerg, just rally across the map and keep on sending those never-ending stream of units and killing Zergs like that. I'm pretty sure this is what he wants to go for here. It's going to be so difficult for Kane to deal with this, especially since, you know, that last base he's taking, there is almost, or not too much creep around it. It's actually not that bad.
And despite Kane having opened up like this 2-base Spire play into a 3rd base, but a little bit slower, he didn't find any room to actually have those Mutalisks get in an aggressive position. They are now, but that's at the same time when his 4th base is being threatened. So he will try and kill this missile turret. He will kill it off and maybe get himself a few workers here. But at the same time, his 4th base is under assault and he needs to be able to save his economy back at home.
Yeah, his 4th base, I think he's going to let that die just to make sure he can get more Banelings to make sure that he could crush this army, but...
A great pickup there by Kane, getting himself a command center. Bunny realizes, though, that all of those mutas are over the other side. He can actually go for drops, sending one up to the top left-hand corner, trying to engage against this. And the Winter Mines actually weren't burrowed there as well for a bit. He has to be careful against a lot of those Banelings.
Bunny was not looking at his army here for a second. It looked very scary, but Kane kind of chickened out when he saw that there was some Widow Mines. But right now there's no more. He's on the chase. He's got the Mutas here as well with his army.
There's really not that many medevacs. Even if he wanted to pick up and try and get out of there, it wasn't going to be an option for him here, as the rest of that bio army gets crushed up against that left-hand side wall. And Kane comes out with a high supply force, but at the same time, the drop in the mineral line here, trying to kill off a few workers. The Lings were ready and reacting to any kind of position that Bunny was looking for, and he gets cleaned up. Great play by Kane so far.
Kane is playing out of his mind, Kaidar. It's 95 army supply to 68 now. He's still behind in upgrades. 2-2 is not even halfway through done here. So that's one thing that Bunny has going for him, especially since Bunny already started 3-3. I think Bunny from there, you know, he just re-expand, maybe kind of sit back for a little bit, wait to catch up on supply, wait for his upgrades to finish and then fight. But Kane is not going to sit back himself. He's looking to get a good engagement, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon, unless he really commits to the attack now. But the thing is, if it fails, then he's going to be in lots of trouble.
Upgrades can be the big difference maker here in this matchup. The Marauders left in the front. Will the Banelings actually soak that up? I don't think so, as they just continue to filter on through the front lines of the Terran army. He's down beyond past 100 supply here is Bunny, and Kane is looking to lay waste to this base at the left-hand side. Even that planetary fortress under assault trying to desperately be repaired, but the remaining few Banelings will bring that down.
There was no Widow Mines at all. Bunny never remade any. He committed 2 Thors. I think he attacked too early, you know, with this big chunk of army. As much as he sniped the 4th, he basically lost the game right after, because he got caught in the middle of the map, lost a lot of units, and then behind this, he lost all of his Widow Mines. The first attack was without Thors, and then the defense was without Widow Mines. If he had had both, it would have been much easier for him, you know, to spread out, make sure he takes the fight in a much better position, and then possibly win it. But now, with the way things have gone, all of a sudden, we have a Kane on 72 army supply against 45 for Bunny. And 2-2 is going to complete.
And the Mutalisks on the assault again, which means that Kane is feeling comfortable on his side of the map. And this is always a little bit of a bad situation here for Terrans to be in. Missile turret will end up falling.
It was very greedy of Bunny to take that 4th base the way he did, to be honest. He had killed the 4th of Kane. All he had to do was retake a 3rd base himself. His natural would have been the best choice. And then just play it safe, you know, turtle a little bit, wait for the Zerg in a defensive posture, realizing he had less army, but trying to take a 4th against a Zerg on 3 bases, who's himself retaking a 4th, obviously, like, you kind of made him desperate. He has to attack into you and make something happen. That's what Kane did, and now all of a sudden, Bunny was in quite a bit of trouble here for a second, but now he's been given a little bit of air to breathe. And I do think that 3-3 is going to complete before we get the next engagement, because only the Mutas are across the map. So this is far from over.
Oh, does not want to be flying too close to those Widow Mines. The Thor also picking away at the health bars here of those Mutas. They're very, very important in these engagements. Yeah. A little bit of a flinch there from Kane, as he is going to try and rally some of his forces towards the bottom right-hand side. Maybe eventually look for an engagement. 100 Zerglings available to him. Morgan about to pop.
The Sensor Tower sees those Mutas, but there's only 1 turret.
The SCVs are ready. You are not going to break that one just yet.
Why did you get the Sensor Tower?
Well, so you could see them and then repair their terror as soon as they come in.
Why didn't he snipe the Sensor Tower? I mean, Kane. It's like all by itself has to die.
Tricky guy, yeah.
I'd suicide whole armies to kill it, Kylars, okay?
All right, calm down. Well, the Lings are going to offload on forwards. There's actually no Banelings with this. I wonder where they are. He does need Banelings to actually break these kind of positions. Their whole position on the SCVs to make sure that only Lings can't get through. The army's going to come back. Kane sacrificed so much.
Yeah.
That was a bizarre engagement for Kane. I don't know why he went so far.
I think Kane, he's realizing that starting 3-3 now probably wouldn't finish on time for him to, like, for it to be able to help him. And as I said, that he started, so never mind. I was gonna say, starting a Ultralis Cavern here and spending all his gas and minerals into Ultras would be a good way, you know, to surprise the Terran, who's very marine heavy, has nearly no marauders. The thing is, he knows that this army of Bunny is gonna hit soon, so all Kane needs, you know, is a lots of Banelings and a great fight on creep. And if he holds this, can go into Ultras and his economy is untouched, he's gonna be okay in this game. But this army of Bunny, he's looking super scary. Kane should definitely start flying back here, because he's going to need those Mutas to fight.
Bunny needs to be able to do something with this army at the moment. The Mutalisks are sat on top of the production here, and they're just killing off everything that comes out of those barracks. So there will be many more units actually to be able to help this out. There go the Banelings, though. The 2 Thors at the front. They're just going to walk on past those, trying to crash into some of this bio at the front. And there's not much left here for Bunny to actually hold on with. He has a few Marines that were left over at the very front of the engagement, and they will kill off some of the drones. But at the same time, Kane is replenishing with 30 Zerglings, and they should be able to clean the rest of this up.
And this has worked here somehow for Kane. He didn't even need those Mutas in defense. All of those Banelings on creep were enough. Again, not many Widow Mines in Bunny's composition. Some big connections on this bio. And once again, he's in quite a bit of trouble. 47 army supply to 73. The 4th base was lifted up. and had to fly away here.
Well, 3-3 is approaching, so is Chitinous plating, and the extra Ultralisks coming out.
Actually, that base here on the left-hand side from Bunny is his main base. He flew it there.
Ah, he's got to find something. I mean, he doesn't really have too much money available to him. He needs all of it. Well, okay, he's going to have quite a bit of money in just a little bit. So those mules will do what they need to. And at the same time, though, he is going to have to face 3-3 Ultras with Kindness plating. That's going to be a lot of tanking potential. And if he couples that with Banelings as well here, then, because he has quite a bit of gas, Bunny is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Kailaris, 41 Marines and 3 Medivacs. Not a single Mulder, not a single Thor. I mean, those 3 big cows, the Ultralisks, they're just going to chew up all of these Marines.
Kane's playing a great game at the moment, locking down, holding tight, making sure that Bunny has really nothing available to him. He's seen Ultras at the front now, so he does have a few Marauders in the mix that are in production. But at the same time, how well is that going to work out? What are these mules doing? That is a lot of money wasted.
Yeah.
Oh my, all those mules are following one mule.
Misclick here a little bit. I think he brought some of them to repair the Medivacs and then misclicked them back on the minerals. Bunny falling apart here a little bit in this game.
Not the best game here for Bunny at the moment. Pathogen glances on the way as Kane. He's rounding out the army, making it all the more potent as he is playing just a fantastic game.
He has so much gas, by the way, Kane. He could go for quite a few Infestors here. And I mean, Infestors, Ultras, against mostly Marines. Right now we are at 58 Marines, 5 Marauders, man. I hope you're ready to close your eyes because this is not going to be pretty.
It's Ultra Infestor Baneling. All that gets locked down and then it actually just disappears. So the 6 Infestors are about to come along into this game. And
only is very short on Medivacs. Only
How many
3.
does he have? Only 3. One of them of which is actually going for a drop on this left-hand side. This is kind of a desperate move at the moment here for Bunny, who is on the back foot. He can't really be aggressive. He sees the extent of his opponent's army, and oh my god, has he got to be fearful about what is going to ensue.
Yeah, those drops are not achieving anything. Even the one on the right-hand side right now, there is 2 Infestors and some Lynx waiting in the natural here for Kane, who somehow... I guess he must have seen this coming somewhere with some of his units.
Good job,
Bunny flies the 3rd base to another base. He just keeps on flying his command centers. Like he's going to mine out the map like this at some point or something. But I don't think Kane wants to give him any time. The big cows, man, they're here. They're hungry. And they want to chew on some Marines.
Yeah, they're going to cleave them down pretty quickly if these fungals hit. So, Kane has built himself a perfect composition to deal with this if the fungals are able to land. There's one Widowman at the front. The Marauders are positioned to soak up some of the damage as this comes in, get a few pot shots off on these Ultralisks, but at the same time, they will lock down some of these. Oh, it's a great fungal! Chains it as well! Oh my god! A lot of Bunny's army actually just evaporates under the power here of the Zerg force, moving on forward, pressing the advantage here of Kane, and he is doubling Bunny's supply, with Bunny having 0 money left here at this point. GG, game number 1 goes to Kane, and that right there, so far, was the game of the tournament for him. Very, very impressive against a usually very impressive Bunny.
Very well played. Completely agree here. My insanity, man. They need to hire a travel agent for this guy. Send him on vacation before every tournament because he's actually playing out of his mind. This is insane. Not just yesterday against Haz, here today against Bunny. Very impressive first game, you know. At some point he was very far behind on upgrades, but didn't seem to matter. Took all the good engagements on creep that he needed to push back Bunny every single time. And that decision of staying with the Mutas, you know, I was questioning it. I really thought he would take more damage back at home, but he knew that he had enough, and he was right. Wrecked the economy of Bunny with that snipe on one of his bases.
Yeah.
Wrecked his production, killed some add-ons, killed a lot of units that were coming out right out of those barracks. As they were coming out, they kept on dying from the Mutas.
Yeah.
And in the end, the Ultra transition just beautiful. In the end, I mean, it wasn't even it. Like he was even getting a greater spire here at the end, not a base. Like he wasn't slowing down anytime soon here, Kane.
Relaxed, composed, calm and collected is Kane at the moment, seemingly in this series. As our second map will be another C. It's going to be Catalina in this match. And I would normally say that this does favor Bunny, but Kane looked really, really good in that game. I don't know if it was a blip. I don't know what it was there from either side. But regardless of what it was, Kane looked great. If he can continue that momentum on here in this series, he'll be going through in first place. All right, we're getting into it. game number 2. It's going to be on Catalina between Bunny and Kane after the My Insanity player looked pretty furious in that game. So let's jump in as we have Bunny and Kane facing off against one another. This is the winners match here in Group D, the second to last series of the day. Day number 2 here at the World Championship Series Grand Finals for Season 1, as we have spawning up to the top as the blue Terran representing Team Liquid, it is Bunny. And down to the south in a bit of a uncompromising position here as our red Zerg representing My Insanity, it is Kane.
Kane here being up 1-0, playing really well in the first game. There is a good chance he could try something special here on the map, that's known to be difficult for Zerg versus Terran. I really wouldn't hold it against him if he tried for an all-in, even if it failed, It can be very difficult to go into the later stages of the game against a very good Terran that's going to be good with drops and all that, especially one like Bunny. But first, he's going to have to be wary of those Reapers. And I say those Reapers, by that I mean there is a very good chance we're going to see more than one. It was actually a gas 11, not 12.
All right, well, this could be a lot of Reapers powering on forwards, as you mentioned him. It's a powerful opener on this map. Does lend itself nicely to the follow-up with the Hellions, losing those Reapers to tank, making it difficult for Kane at the front. But if he opens up with his 2 base Spire play again and takes his 3rd base later, in a similar vein to how we're seeing a lot of Zergs doing nowadays, then he should be on lockdown, he should be fine.
I wonder how Bunny was surprised by, how well Kane played overall. Starting with the Reaper loss early on and then later on, a lot of those big attacks, it kind of felt like he was going in very confident with all the bio that he had. And then Banelings rolled in, he was like, oh my god, like Kane actually had so much. Bunny started using a lot of units, and then even, all of those attacks with the Mutas and all that, they did quite a bit of damage. There was just one attack that really was bad for Kane, is the one, where the SCVs were on hold position, where he threw away quite a few Zerglings, but in the end, Zerglings are very inexpensive units. Like, you can even lose 20 and not care all that much, as long as you have what's needed in the next fight, and he did have what's needed with a lot of Banelings.
Well, first Reaper on the way. Second one will be joining it soon. There's potential for the 3rd again, but he could just go from barracks to second Reaper to factory to the reactor, and then command center, and then potentially 3rd Reaper again if he's going to opt for that. But the 3 Reaper opener is very strong here, thanks to the terrain of the main base. Good save there from Kane on his first drone. Making sure that he's not going to be losing it to just 1 Reaper, because that would be quite tragic. Oh, but he does lose 1.
Yeah, going for hatch first, the way he did in here, and the later pull, he's not going to have, Queens or Zerglings as early as you would need to hold this comfortably. You need, the greatest micro of all time. He did have some decent micro, but I guess losing 1 drone's not the end of the world, but he could be losing some more with 1 more here going down.
Yeah. And there's the potential for a little bit more here if Bunny's able to control this well. The 3rd Reaper is going to rendezvous with these units in just a little bit, and going to jump on out for now.
Does Kane get desperate here a little bit and then goes for something like a Zergling attack? I don't know. I don't think it would be good. Even if though he did start speed pretty quickly in this game here. You really would have to catch Bunny completely off guard, but even then, with the wall up the ramp, usually as Terran here, you're completely safe.
Yeah.
Even if you have to evacuate the natural or lose a few SCVs there with the triple orbital that's coming.
Well, here come the 3 Reapers this time, as they will be able to get themselves quite a few Zergling kills, maybe even some more drones behind all of this. Extra drones actually come off the line to go for this round, but they filter through, and there's only melee. Oh my god, this is utterly crazy. A lot of drones come off there, only get themselves 1 Reaper.
This is a bit of a tilt drone pull here by Kane, just getting really annoyed, pulling more and more drones, but in the end, not even getting 2 of those Reapers. This is not very here what happens. Yeah. Only 2 drones have been killed, but drones were pulled for a very long time. A lot of Zerglings were made actually by Kane. Kind of overreacted here for a second.
That is a lot. He looking to go for the counter-attack. He has speed now. Roach goes down. He's anticipating the follow-up potentially of those Hellions coming along and maybe causing him a few problems.
Bunny's timing the speed very well, by the way. He came back home right at the time where speed finished, and with the Roach Warren on the way here, and another gas. I'm wondering whether Kane wants to be aggressive with this or not. Still no Evo chambers going down, so
Well,
I'm seriously starting to think more and more aggression here.
yeah, 2 overlords to free up some supply here whilst these Lings actually sneak on in and maybe getting themselves a few SCVs. Thankfully, 2 Hellions popped just in the nick of time to actually fend this off a little bit.
Yeah, look at the production tab. We're gonna know in a second what Kane has decided. Right now, nothing. He's starting, he has quite a bit of money. It's gonna be roaches,
It's a
man.
lot, yeah.
It's gonna be roaches. With this much money, 11 roaches at first year, most likely gonna be followed by a lot of Zerglings. 1 more overlord is gonna start, and Kane on Catalina, after falling a little bit behind early on, losing a few drones here and there, is not gonna try to come back in a longer macro game. He's just gonna do a roach attack.
Push on forwards, try and kill his opponent off here in game 2. Pretty early, there goes the Baneling nest. Roachling Bane attack could be activated very, very soon as Bunny, for now, what does he really have available to
Yeah.
him? 5 Hellions at the front. The Roaches will be able to push those back. The Banshee is actually a great
kinda
tool
main.
against it.
I'm looking at Bunny's vision. He's seeing this attack come right now. He needs to start some bunkers. He's gonna pull back behind the wall. He starts a bunker, one first bunker at the ramp here. The Banshee is really gonna help a lot. It still starts double eBay, so he doesn't seem too worried. I don't think he realizes that this is a huge committal.
Well, he'll see the Banelings morph again, and then he'll know 100% what on earth is going on. And that is a lot of roaches. The first bunker is not actually finished. The roach is going to go to work on that to start things off. Hellions have to dart on back. They're not going to do that much damage against these roaches.
The Baneling is finished.
Uh-oh, he could actually morph Banelings in wherever he wanted, but he's just going straight for the jugular, getting on top of some of these SCVs, morphing in Banelings right in the thick of things, and the SCVs cannot retreat out. This is terrible here for Bunny. He's going to lose quite a lot to this, regardless of if he dies here or not. All these SCVs are going to die.
The wall is gonna be breached, Kylaris, and the flood of roaches
Let the
is gonna
siege
go
begin.
inside of the main.
Uh-oh, all right, those 2 Banelings. Here comes a siege tank, though, to try and help on out against this. A flood of units come on in. The Zerglings are going to be streaming across the map again here to help on out against this. The Banshee is the one saving grace that we're going to see from Bunny. Despite him losing that siege tank at the back, he only is down to 16 workers against the 31 that we're seeing here constantly. For Kane, more Lings are going to flood forward, but I don't think they're going to be able to do enough to finish this just yet.
Bunny needs to rewall. Actually, he's doing some nice hold position on the SCVs here, blocking a lot
Lovely.
of the Zerglings. They're gonna start falling, but the one roach is being ignored. Ideally, Bunny would like to rewall. He needs to move some of his buildings, maybe even cancel Steam Pack.
14 workers only left. There's 1 Marine out. If these Zerglings are actually going to get a few more SCVs here, it could be lights out for Bunny. In the winners match, they split themselves off, though. And he's just waiting for more.
Yeah.
I think he may end up pulling back and going just back to drones because he's established himself a great lead here.
I really think that he needs to fly some buildings in his ramp here to reblock this. Maybe even the starport, since he's not using it anyway. He doesn't have the money to throw down depots. So far,
Wow.
he's survived. But I guess he's just gonna hold for now against these last few Zerglings that were sent in. There is a transition out of this year happening now for Kane with the double Evo, the lair on the way, droning up a little bit here. He's gonna start working on the 3rd base here as well. And I mean, you bring down a Terran down to 16 SCVs, you're on 44 drones. You've done a good job. The thing is, he's still alive, and I've seen bigger comebacks than this.
Yes, we have.
And from worse Terrans than Bunny. As bad as it sounds.
Well, Commander Banshee with 27 kills now makes its way across the map and looks to put on some pressure itself. Straight towards the mineral line here of Kane at the natural. He sees that the layer is finished. He's going to have to be trying to get as many kills as possible, but the Spore Crawlers as well as the Queens are zoning him out, and he does not have Cloak, which will make this a little bit harder.
Yeah, I don't know why Bunny underestimated this attack this much. Like he saw it coming, he threw down the double eBay anyway, and in the end, he finds himself in a situation where he doesn't even have the money, the minerals or gas to start any upgrades on those eBay. Going for extra bunkers would have gone a long way to help him hold this. And he should be worried and nervous here, going up against a Kane who, remember, is up by 1 game already. He's gonna have to do a lot of work to come back in this, weaken the economy of his opponent. He's gonna spot the Spire, which is nice. Actually, maybe he could even get a kill.
There wasn't that many units actually here, so he had to bring back all the Lings to
Where's the
actually help
medevac?
out against this. The medevac decided to abandon for a second. It can't really go towards that Spore Crawler too easily, but the Queen is focusing
Oh
it
my
down. He's lost
God.
so many workers here. He's evening up the numbers. Kane, having allowed Bunny to get this damage done, is letting the Terran back into the game.
Kane not only overdrone, but he was out of position here for a second. He pays a big price for these 18 drones. That's a massive amount of drones. You know what happens usually after this? What you want to do? You want to even the score. So he's going to make some mutas and going to be aiming for for these SCVs here, but Bunny, he made his base in the start of the game. He can go for turrets very easily. He already has quite a few Marines, with 17 in total, which is almost as much as how many Zerglings we have on the map. Remember, 3 orbitals here is the number that Bunny has right now, with 37 SCVs against 43 drones. So he's actually ahead economically. Oh my god, 1,700 minerals income. He's rich.
He is rich, he is.
For a broke guy.
Well, 1-1's on the way for him. 1-1's just about to complete for Kane overall, with that plus melee on the way. And centrifugal hooks, as well as a few banelings, going to morph in. So this will make this defense a little bit easier. One tank is with this that was primarily used for the defense to start things off. And he's just going to look to clean up the third base. So making sure he can keep his economy in check.
Bunny has completely brought himself back in this game here, with all of these 18 drone kills. He's not only getting 1-1, he's even made the Armory on time to once again start 2-2 as soon as he wants to. And this time, trust me, he's not going to go there. He's not going to go and attack too early. He's going to want to take his time a lot more compared to last game. Make sure he doesn't attack into, you know, those huge masses of banelings that Kane did go for. And already adding a second factory, that's something I've noticed with Bunny. He seems to want to add extra factories very early on in the game. The thing is, in the previous game, he didn't wait until those units were out to really attack with them, so he's going to have to do that better here. And he seemed to be wanting, I think it was 2 factories with a tech lab and 1 with the reactor. So if he does the same here, later on he's going to be adding 1 more with the tech lab. So 2 factories with tech lab making the Thors, and the 1 with the reactor gets Widow Mines.
Well, 2-2 is now on the way here for Kane, with also the Overlord speed, just to be able to get those in the best positions possible to spot drops and make sure that they're not going to die off to any kind of weird, like, little Viking dancing around.
Kane's creep spread has been ridiculous, by the way.
It's really good.
Like, what is it with these Canadian Zergs, man?
I don't know. They like creep. It's a pretty good tool. The thing is, as a Zerg player, prioritizing your creep spread is such a powerful tool.
Yes.
It's so strong. It gives you vision. It stops the Terran from moving on forwards. It makes you faster. It makes you smarter and stronger. Everything. It's great.
In this game, I'm surprised at how good it is, especially considering, you know, how much action there has been and the way Kane opens. But I guess, as you say, he understands the importance of the creep. And in the previous game, it actually helped him a lot to always be engaging on creep with all of these banelings that he went for.
Well, at the moment, Kane is playing a strong series. Game number 1 was fantastic, but Bunny has clawed his way back forwards here into game number 2. And Catalina, eventually, if he's able to clean up a lot of this creep down towards the attack path that he wants to take, will be okay for him. But 2-2 is rapidly approaching here and finishing up for Kane.
Both players here doing a great job of, you know, macroing, not taking too many engagements, taking it slow. Kane is actually losing, you know, a big chunk of units inside of his third base, kind of hidden there. He's got 2 well-placed overlords on the right-hand side to watch out for drops. He's starting to work on the left-hand side base as a 4th base. And Bunny, he's really learned from the previous game, by the way. He's not rushing in there. You know, as I mentioned, he's taking his sweet time, pushing back the creep. The thing is, he's giving a lot of time for Kane to go into a ton of banelings, really, like so many of them. He's already got, well, I guess he's already got just 8. I thought he had a little bit more, but he could start morphing so many of them from a very far distance as he sees Bunny stepping on creep.
Infestation pit's on the way now and just finishing up here for Kane. That will allow him to take up just a little bit further. Now with his 2-2 complete, he may look for windows to start that hive, which he's already found one, which is now. The Mutalisks are already being aggressive anyway. He knows his creep spread is good. He knows it's holding back the Terran. Bunny can't really move out too far, and he hasn't spotted any medevac drops going to the left or to the right.
Go. 11 banelings at first.
All right.
That's the first, but he's actually buffing them too far out here. He might have to cancel those.
Yeah, they are a bit far, you're right.
And he might
buy some time.
You don't want to engage too early here, by the way. I don't think, like, he could definitely wait for more banelings before engaging.
He's encroaching onto the territory here, going very far onto the creep here is Bunny, but that was quite a few banelings already down the drain. There's only 9 still available to him, with 9 more morphing in, so Kane doesn't really want to take this fight just yet.
There is the argument of not wanting to let the Terran push back too much creep.
Ooh, well, whilst all of this is going on, that baneling, actually, tons of banelings on the left-hand side died to that one Widow Mine, but he is going to lose a command center here for this. Whilst the Mutalisks were picking off this command center, and he was completely distracted by the engagement in the middle.
One of those Widow Mines got 6 kills, the other one got 13. That detonation was just massive here. And he's actually going to start a command center here. Another one, Bunny. That's actually could get sniped quite easily. That was the one command center from his main. That means that essentially Bunny, he's down to 2 orbitals.
Yeah, he's
Well,
going to lose
that's
this one. Forces the cancellation, so at least he gets himself
Oh,
200
Bunny.
mils back from that. Bunny strays onto creep again. He loses a few of the Marines at the front from those Banelings, but there's not that many Banelings still left available. Only 18 more, though, are going to morph in, and that's going to allow Kane to keep himself well solidified on his side of the map because the creep is still phenomenal. It's going to be difficult to deal with.
He's playing out of his mind. He's flying everywhere with the Mutas, killing stuff left and right, getting a lot more links at the same time. He's going to be able to get even more Banelings if he wants to. He's got Hive. He's going to be able to start more and more upgrades. Actually surprised he didn't go for Adrenal Glands yet. And I mean, with that one drop, what is Bunny really going to achieve? He's like in the last game, you know, it kind of flies in, dies, doesn't do much. I guess bring the Mutas back so that they can be offensive for a little bit of time, but it's really not killing anything with this.
Yeah, may as well say bye-bye to this medevac.
He's trying to use that, you know, as a distraction to get a good position on the creep, but he's so deep, actually, with this push.
Well, 22
on
more
creep.
Banelings are morphing in, and that's going to make a total of 40-some Banelings if they all couple together and get an engagement off on this army, as he separates just a few units up there for those Widowmines to soak it up. They actually die under the pressure of some of those Banelings right on top of them. He might have to pick up some of these units, because that's a lot of Banelings that can crash against this cliff, picks some of it up, gets out of there, but there you go, GG! Kane is able to take the series 2-0, and what a phenomenal win there for him, moving on to the round of 8. Wow. I did not expect that, and he is ecstatic with that victory.
I don't think too many people came into this group thinking that, you know, he was going to do this well, probably not even himself. Topping a group here that had quite a few strong players, beating not only Has, but then Bunny. Huge upset here, in my opinion.
I think
Kane played very, very well.
Yeah, in all, Kane in WCS so far has arguably made those upsets happen twice in a row now. The round of 32, able to top his group. The round of 16, able to top his group. If there's any doubters out there of Kane right now, they're probably going to be dispelled quite quickly.
And, you know, he backed up his trash talk here a little bit. He did feast on some nice little meat of rabbit.
All right, so that does it for us here at the caster's desk. Let's head over to the victor moving on to the round of 8. It's Kane with Smix.
Thank you very much, Claris. That so well done, Kane. I just feel like you deceived us yesterday in your interview. You sold yourself. You said all these words about how you hadn't been practicing, how you had no expectations. Then you just come out here and dominated Bunny.
Well, yeah, I think a big part of StarCraft is kind of getting past the mental issues that one might have. So I think when I say those things, it kind of takes a lot of the pressure off of me. Whereas all the pressure was on Bunny today as one of the best foreign Terrans. So I feel like I had no pressure going into this game. I was the underdog, and yeah, I was just able to play my game.
Well, speaking of Terran, your Zerg versus Terran has been absolutely monstrous lately. You've taken out some really strong players, including Polt, Ryong, Hart. I mean, what do you attribute that to?
I think right now, ZVT is actually kind of hard. But I think that a lot of Zergs try to play a little too greedy, whereas I make sure to play a bit safer. And yeah, I just take smart engagements, I would say. My creep spread is quite good sometimes. And yeah, I think a big part of it is just taking cost-efficient engagements. I see a lot of Zergs trying to go off creep, whereas I make sure to stay on creep when I engage, and that kind of works in my favor.
Well, with your victory over Bunny, you're advancing in first place out of Group D. This means that you're going to be going up against either TLO, Showtime, or Polt. And I just mentioned, out of those players, one would think Polt is the strongest player, but you've actually defeated him recently. So out of these players, are you worried about anybody?
Actually, I'm not worried about Polt. We practiced together a while ago, and I did quite well versus him. He is one of those players who doesn't get nervous in offline tournaments, I feel. So I think that he would definitely be comfortable playing against me, and he's somebody that I shouldn't be taking lightly. So I think that out of any of those players, to be honest, I'm okay with, but I'd rather face either TLO or Showtime.
All right, well, before I let you go, I know yesterday you were very, very humble, but now I want you to tell the truth. Going into the round of 8, how confident are you in how well you're going to do?
Honestly, I feel very confident. I feel like my play right now is quite good. I feel like I just play smart and take cost-efficient engagements, whereas others might not do that so much. So yeah, I feel very comfortable. There's no pressure on me. I've already surpassed everybody's expectations, I think. So yeah, I feel no nerves whatsoever. I don't feel any pressure.
All right, well, thank you very much, Kane. Best of luck tomorrow in the round of 8. We just secured our first quarterfinalist out of Group D. We'll see who will be the last to come out of this group. But before then, let's head back to the experts at the desk.
Thank you very much, Smix, and congratulations once again to Kane, our first player through to the top 8 from Group D. I don't think too many people expected him to go through in first place, but he's gone through there. Congratulations to My Insanity as well, having a player go through. Rotterdam and Nathanius, of course, you must be feeling very proud of this moment. You've broadcast him for a long time now, not just this season as well. And he's through in first place.
Yeah, a very long time even. Like, I remember the times I used to do like a small King of the Hill with NASL, and there was this guy called Legion Kane who really wanted to play, and then I gave him a shot because he was like, always the old boys that are getting invited. And that's the first time I was like, I don't know who this loudmouth is, but let's give him a chance. And he actually played really well. I was like, this guy seems good. And this is like a solid 2.5 years ago, you know, and he's really grown a lot as a player. And this was like, he was ready for this. He was good enough. He's been good enough to perform like this on the stage like this. It just didn't really come out yet, but this tournament so far, it's been awesome to watch.
It's been an absolute treat to see Kane pull in, and the way that I think he described his play was exactly why, in my opinion, he was able to take the game, especially in those games in the qualifier versus Polt. A lot of the ZVTs I've seen, his creep spread's phenomenal. He takes the absolute best fights, and that's pretty much what happened in that series. I was very impressed. I didn't think it would be didn't think it would look so easy for him, but I'm as excited as he is to see him advance as a North American.
Hopefully he can continue to do well in the round of 8. We'll see who gets drawn with later on when we do that bracket. He's our 4th Zerg player through to the top 8. We now have 50% Zerg through.
Lovely.
Lovely, Jubbly. I know you're going to be giving us a lot of insight, hopefully, over these next few days because of that. But what is it about Kane that you like after watching his games?
Kane, like he said in the intro, he plays safer. And I said this, he plays 2-base, and I was thinking, you know, maybe that's going to hurt his economy a bit, but it doesn't. He goes 2-base, he gets some uses out, he plays safe, he can't really die to any aggression from the Terran player because he's going 2-base, whereas every other Zerg player goes 3-base. And then he still seems to be okay. It gets him good creep spread because he doesn't have to worry about defending against Hellions and stuff as well. And I think that's the big thing. He has a lot of creep spread, and he takes engages on creep. You never see him running off creep, being silly, just as he said. I think he summed it up himself.
Surprising as well, isn't it? Because he highlighted his creep spread as a potential weakness because he hasn't been practicing, and you need good creep spread through mechanics, and that's something he thought he wouldn't have, but wasn't the case.
No, his creep spread was phenomenal.
All right, thank you very much, boys. We're going to go to a very quick commercial break, and when we return, it will be the last game of the day. It's been a long day here in the World Championship Series, but now we need to find out, can Bunny survive the bullets that Haz is going to be throwing his way?